Two women are shipwrecked on a deserted island where they must choose between staying and surviving on their own or returning to the civilization where an illness has taken most of their loved ones. Lila meets a sketchy man in a public bathroom, and she gives all her money to him in exchange for wristbands certifying that the wearer is healthy. Afterward, she hurries back to the car where her daughter, Emily, is waiting. They head to a dock, and on the way there, the streets are in chaos while the radio reports a virus with no cure, the same virus that killed the rest of Emily's family. The two arrive at their boat to witness a man with a wristband being denied entry, but women, including Emily and Lila, are allowed to board. Later, Lila is having drinks with a man, though her daughter disapproves. From across the room, Emily catches the attention of Kara as well as the man she's playing poker with. Emily bids her mom to come back to the room with her, but Lila tells her she's securing food for their trip. Uncomfortable, Emily leaves as her mom continues to socialize. Shortly after, Kara checks on Emily and advises her to lock the door. Much later, Kara tallies her winnings while Emily prepares for bed and journals while waiting for her mom. Soon, Lila joins her daughter and goes to sleep, too drunk to do anything else. A storm hits that night, and the strong waves toss the boat around. The day after the storm, Kara finds Emily washed ashore and revives her. Emily wakes up with a start and pushes Kara off. Confused, Kara informs her that their ship capsized during the storm, and she hasn't found any other survivors. Although Kara urges her fellow survivor to help build a shelter, Emily sets off to search for Lila but only discovers her journal, leaving her dejected. Later, Kara is building her hut while Emily is busy making a rescue signal. Kara watches her for a bit until a nearby sound alarms her. She walks over and finds coconuts, so she takes one and drinks its juice before sharing her sustenance with Emily. They do brief introductions, but still, Emily remains withdrawn and declines Kara's invitation to join her in the shelter, so the woman leaves her alone. The next day, Emily wakes up to the sound of Kara unsuccessfully spearfishing. She walks over and catches one on her first try, then teaches the struggling woman how to do it. While celebrating Kara's first catch, they notice a chest floating nearby, which they bring to shore. Inside are miscellaneous supplies and possessions that could be useful. Some they even find entertaining. Afterward, Emily remarks that she's hungry, so they set off to gather wood for a fire to cook the fish. Intrigued by Emily's survival skills, Kara asks about her background, but her new friend only gives a vague answer. As night falls, they bond over a conversation about their homes and the things they miss. Emily misses reading, while Kara implies that she's attracted to women. The following day, Kara brings fruits for the two of them to eat. Upon seeing the mangoes, Emily excitedly eats them as the other woman watches her in awe. After their snack, the two attempt to make their shelter feel more like home. Emily, the avid reader, makes up backstories for a family photo, but her friend gets weirded out. Emily instead invites her to go exploring, and Kara reluctantly agrees. Along the way, Emily explains the importance of exploration because they never know what they could discover. Soon, they stumble upon a beautiful waterfall and decide to spend the rest of the day there. On their way back to the shelter, Emily spots a cashew tree and runs to it. Unfortunately, she falls down a trench and sprains her ankle in the process, so her friend helps her up. Back at camp, shaken by the experience, the injured woman reflects on their mortality and expresses her fear of encountering a situation where she can't help Kara. Kara is sure that they can overcome their challenges, but Emily fears the possibility of staying on the island forever as she longs to return to civilization. However, Kara argues that there are more dangers outside the island due to the virus and its effects. Frustrated by Emily's attitude, she storms out of the shelter. Kara chooses to be alone rather than share camp with Emily. As heavy rain pours, she takes shelter in a cave and waits for it to pass. The following day, Kara comes across more wreckage while walking back to camp. She scavenges what she can and brings it with her to their base. Emily apologizes for their argument and recognizes that the island is the safest place for them. She also confesses to being stressed about not knowing her mom's whereabouts. They then celebrate the lucky finds that were found by Kara, who thoughtfully hands Emily a book as they go through the items. Later that night, they have a romantic evening watching the stars. Before falling asleep, Kara begins asking her companion a question but decides against it, unwilling to ruin the moment. The subsequent day also has has heavy rains, so the two are stuck inside their shelter. Emily says Kara has something on her face and caresses it before going in for a kiss. Kara pulls away, worried about the future implications for their relationship, but the other woman reassures her that this is something she wants. The two then continue to warm themselves against the chill rain. The following morning, Kara wakes up first and reaches for Emily's journal, thinking she's asleep. However, Emily reveals she's awake and warns her never to touch her journal. Then, the two snuggle back to sleep. Later, Kara emerges from swimming and joins Emily on the beach where she's reading. Kara notices the campfire has gone out. Then they kiss and start a fire of their own. A while later, Emily is absorbed in journaling. Kara walks over and snatches the journal, starting to read it aloud. She reads a passage about Emily's happiness in being with her but has doubts about their future. This upsets Emily, who says her thoughts are private, and if there's something Kara should know, she'll share it with her directly. As night falls, the two reflect on their experiences since the pandemic began. Kara shares her story of escaping a cult that pressured women to have children and later becoming a poker player to make money. Then, Emily opens up about her family and how she lost most of them early on. She also reveals that Lila resorted to sugar daddies to get by. Under the moonlight, Emily teaches her companion how to weave baskets. They begin talking about Kara's tattoo, in which she shares the story of how she received it from a tattoo artist she stayed with. She explains that it was meant to help her appear tougher, given the situation that she's in. The next day, Emily wonders if someone is looking for them. Kara replies that it's a blessing in disguise that they're on this peaceful island, away from the chaos of the pandemic. They then go for a swim, but Kara gets stung by a jellyfish, so her companion quickly helps her back to their shelter to remove the stingers. Emily spends the rest of the day tending to the injured woman. The following morning, Emily is still watching over Kara, who wakes up. The two then share their feelings and confess their love for each other. Soon, Kara is feeling better and is out gathering coconuts when she notices signs directing her somewhere. She follows it to find her lover's surprise date for her. Emily is tonight's waitress, chef, and date. Later, Emily gives a speech about how being stranded on the island with Kara is where she belongs. After their meal, the two are by the beach, where they hear an engine. Alarmed, they quickly hide. A boat approaches their island, and Finn jumps off and surveys the area. He notices the signs of life on the island and shouts, offering food and water. Then, the couple cautiously reveal themselves, armed with a spear, and Finn expresses joy at finding them alive. He introduces himself as part of a rescue team and asks about their condition. Emily asks about Lila, and he replies that she's already been rescued, and the team is looking for other survivors on nearby islands. He commends what they've done so far to survive on the island, and Kara asserts they don't need to be rescued. Finn says they don't have to decide now since his small boat is only for scouting, and it will take time for the rest of the rescue team to arrive. Kara is wary of him, but after taking his chocolate and peanut butter, the two women eventually let him set up his own camp on the island while waiting for the rescue team. While Emily and Finn seem to be getting along well, Kara busies herself with a spear and watches the two from afar, annoyed by their interactions. That night, the women compliment Finn's cooking and ask him to tell them more about himself. They learn that he and Emily have a lot in common, coming from the same state and losing their family to the virus. He also reveals that he eventually ended up working for the owner of the boat that sank. After dinner, he excuses himself to rest for the night while the two stay behind to clean up. The next day, Finn is hiding and watching the couple from afar. When Emily goes for a kiss, Kara is uncomfortable doing it with Finn around, but her lover brushes it off. As the couple relaxes, the man walks away with a sinister expression on his face. Later, the women approach Finn while he unpacks. They comment on his supplies, and he mentions there's more on the rescue ship if they're interested, but Kara says there's no guarantee they're joining the rest of the survivors. Emily then invites him to swim past the reef, and he accepts as they take more of his stuff. They have fun and later decide to compete for tonight's chores. Emily wins the coconut throwing contest and gets to laze around for the rest of the day. As the losers prepare for dinner, dinner, Finn teaches Kara some of his survival skills. During their time together, Finn reassures Kara that he's not a threat to their safety or her relationship with Emily. After some additions to their shelter, Finn and Kara hang around playing poker with a man's supplies on the line. Then, a hungry Emily interrupts the two and reminds them to start cooking. Soon, the three are taking in the scenery when Finn comments on how the place is like a paradise, and he can see why the two are hesitant to leave. Emily asks if he's considering staying with them instead, but Finn quickly dismisses the idea, saying he has things to do off the island, but he's glad to be spending time with them now. That night in bed, Kara is still uncertain about Finn, though she can't quite determine why. Emily suggests that Kara may just have trust issues, and she half-heartedly agrees. Unbeknownst to them, Finn is outside and overhears their conversation. The next day, Finn is on the radio and quickly turns it off when he spots Emily approaching. He informs her that the rescue team will be arriving soon. When the woman asks about her mom, the man says that Lila is excited to see her. Afterward, Emily asks to talk to Lila on the radio, but Finn refuses, saying he has to save the battery. He quickly changes his mind, but then the radio isn't picking up any signal, so he tells her they'll try again later. Seeing Emily look dejected, Finn cheers her up by asking her what she wants to say to her mom. She confides that she was supposed to ask for advice and goes on to say that she feels trapped in choosing between Lila and Kara. Finn suggests that Kara would join her on the boat if she asked. This way, she doesn't have to choose between the two, subtly nudging her to favor getting rescued. A few moments later, Kara announces that she's gathering fruits and invites them to join her. Finn accepts, but Emily declines, taking the time alone to think. During their fruit run, Finn informs Kara that the rescue ship is coming soon. He assures her that Emily loves her, but asks if she would want to risk her lover resenting her for separating Emily from Lila and living on the island with that resentment between them. Later, Emily walks in on her lover packing their things. Kara tells her that she wants to take the pressure off Emily, so she's decided to get on the boat to be with Lila. However, Emily declares she doesn't want to go, and the reason she's feeling guilty is because of choosing her new lover over her mom. She says her time on the island has been the happiest she's been, and she wants to be exactly where she is, with Kara. They kiss, and Kara says she'll go wherever Emily chooses to be. She also acknowledges that Finn is a good guy and decides to trust him. That night, the two set up a surprise for Finn. When he rushes to them after hearing their fake cries for help, he sees the table and asks what the occasion is. Emily replies that it's a celebration, but doesn't clarify if it's for Finn leaving the island or for their rescue. Finn returns the favor by playing music, now unconcerned about saving power since the rescue boat is coming. They enjoy dinner, followed by drinking and stories of their time together. Kara compliments Finn, saying he's a good person for not taking advantage of two women stranded on an island. They toast to his good personality. Then Kara excuses herself for bed, drunk. As Emily is about to join her partner, her favorite song starts playing, and Finn invites her to dance. They share a brief kiss, but Emily pulls away and excuses herself. Before going, she reassures Finn that he's a good person. Early the next morning, Finn is busy packing his things while Emily takes a stroll elsewhere on the island. Unexpectedly, she stumbles upon the corpses of the other passengers of the boat, including her mother's lifeless body. Horrified, she runs back to camp, where she overhears Finn on the radio discussing the sale of her and Kara. Finn turns around, shocked to see Emily there, pointing a spear at him. Shortly, Kara arrives, trying to defuse the situation, but Emily reports that she found Lila's body on the island and that Finn's rescue is actually a trap to capture and sell them. Betrayed and angered, Emily spears Finn, but is immediately hit by the gravity of what she's done. Kara holds her as they both come to terms with the situation and try to figure out their next move. Soon, they spot the supposed rescue boat approaching. Thinking quickly, Kara uses Finn's radio and frantically asks for medical assistance, making the traffickers think they are sick with a deadly virus. Fortunately, the other party doesn't respond, and the women watch the boat change course, avoiding their island. The two hug each other in relief, grateful for their quick thinking that saved them from the traffickers. Later, they make a grave for Lila, and Emily places her book on it as tribute. With closure on Lila's fate, Emily realizes there's nothing pulling her away from the island. She feels content living there with Kara in their own island paradise, their heaven on earth.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.